Well, it's been a couple weeks since we've done the old barn banter. Um, Playoffs are proving to be a distraction to some of the people that we're trying to line up here. Anyway, it's just going to be a short one today. It's quarter to 20 to 5 here in Calgary, Alberta. And, this might be a different one, I guess. I was at a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, actually had its funeral on Saturday. And I'm becoming of the age where lots of the people that Michael, how are you, buddy? Was it a week away? You're coming up for steak dinner? That's right, people. You heard it here first. Michael is coming up to Calgary, hopefully, if all goes well. And we at Baker Plumbing, I'm going to show him at least a good meal anyway. After that, he's on his own. Hopefully, he doesn't get into too much trouble. And if you saw one of my reels this week, I'm making sure that the roadways are clear of deer, so he doesn't have any mishaps while he's up here. Anyway, like I said, I've been in the trade long enough now that some of the people that I work with, in heating departments, at wholesalers, that were clearly older than I am, are in their 70s now. And anyway, a good friend of mine passed away last week, and he had his funeral on Saturday. And every time that happens now, it's a bit of and I suspect it is for most of us, an opportunity to sort of reflect on your life, on the impact that you have on sort of, sort of where you are on your roadmap of life. And I'm not going to get all crazy religious, but I do think it's fascinating, especially as a tradesman. Lots of the people that I work with and for and all the rest of that stuff are usually, agnostic or atheist or whatever the case may be, which is a fascinating spin on life, especially being in the trade. I've spent my entire life installing, maintaining, servicing systems that obviously don't sort of just come into being all by themselves. They take a great deal of thought and dedication and 1,000 processes to manifest themselves in reality. You think of any fitting, anything that you guys touch, any piece of equipment, a boiler, a flush valve, a toilet. You think of all the effort that has gone into making that appliance fixture a reality. The manpower, the woman power, the whatever you want to call it, the people power that's behind those inventions. There's hundreds of thousands of hours that go into that. And then once you install something like that, there's hundreds of hours of service and maintenance that go into making those systems continue to be effective, efficient, and profitable for the clientele that has those things installed. Anyway, so thinking of my friend that's passed on, all I will say is that there's more to this life than just what we see here. Can you still say people? Is people out too now? The world is spinning. Well, let's chat about that too in a minute. There's more to this life than what we can see and what we can touch and what we can feel. I've had so many fascinating experiences that from my point of view and my opinion, life goes on. I don't know exactly, how that works, but the people that are the most influential in our lives, the people that will remember us when we're gone, which is our families, we are still involved in their lives as much as we will let them be involved in our lives. I had wonderful, wonderful parents that were kind and considerate and involved in my life, and they've both left this world. And I can say with 100% assurity and sincerity that they are still part of my life and influential in the decisions that I make and the directions that my life takes. It's fascinating. Anyway, I would encourage you to think about that the next time you have to deal with the loss of a friend or family member, that there's more than just to what we see. And however you view that, our life here is important. The work that we do here is important. The influence and effect of what we have on people is important. And that's really it. How you make people feel and how you go about your work makes all the difference. I've been doing this job long enough that I've ripped out things that I once installed, and I suspect I'll continue to do that. But it's the work that we do here is temporary. The things that last, the things that are important, is your family, and the relationships you have that breed consideration, respect, and love. How's that? How's that? Can we still say family? It seems to me that a very small majority of people and their opinions are holding sway on the great majority of all of us. I do think that at one point in my life, many of the challenges that we see out there now was the people that are yelling the loudest for tolerance, inequality, and respect. At one point, were simply asking to be tolerated and to be equals. And I'm not sure on what level they're now unequal, but they are an unhappy group of people that are yelling the loudest. I do not think they're the majority in any sense of the imagination, but they are certainly the loudest. And I think it's important for whatever values you hold that you be tolerant of others, you be kind to others, and that you focus on sharing what you think and what you believe respectfully and kindly, and maybe only by invitation, as opposed to forcing that upon others. I don't know. As Buddy, everybody's offended by something now for no good reason, as far as I can tell. It's a crazy life. And I've come across thousands and thousands of people. Many of them, frankly, have been unimportant transactions, unmemorable transactions, but there's hundreds of them that have been important to me and important to my development. And those are the ones that have treated situations kindly and respectfully, and without malice or without some predetermined purpose to try and influence my direction. Yeah. Is it all people though? I don't think it's all people. I think it's a very small and segmented part of society that's sensitive. You can even tell by some of the things that are happening around the world that the majority is starting to get a little bit louder on how they 15% of them, it could be that high. I would bet you it's flies in here are bad today. Anyway, I would bet it's less than that. There's certainly people that sympathize and empathize with those that minority. So it probably, like you say, the people that are part of that truly believe and are super outspoken about it, I think are probably between 5 and 8%. And then the sympathizers of those groups are somewhere between 15 and 20%. And so they get to that, 20, 30% of whatever happens to be going on out there. And the rest of society, and I will say, should I say us? I don't even know. Are the silent majority. But I think that's changing. I think people are, starting to see the direction that it's going by letting this other group sort of take the reins. And I think people are like, okay, that's enough. It's time to pull that back and take this in a more sensible direction. And clearly that's my opinion on that stuff, but my opinion is my opinion. I can only see the world through my lenses, try to be sensitive to other people's lenses, but whatever. It is what it is. Not much plumbing talk today. We're all, busy as beavers running around trying to catch up with all the madness. It's still gorgeous here in Calgary. The weather's fantastic. And so lots of people are putting off their boilers and their furnaces because it's not cold enough for them to think about it. So the second we get like a -10 or -15, it'll be off the hook crazy around this joint again. So anyway, like I say, Barn Banter is not dead. We are my biggest challenge is being consistent in communicating with people and getting them on to come join us on this. So I'll do a better job of that here in the next couple weeks, and we'll get this thing back on the rails, and get some fabulous people in here, so you don't have to listen to me meander and talk about whatever comes to my mind. I hope you're all have an excellent Sunday. I wish you guys all the best wherever you are. I say it often, frequently. Look after your families. Look after those that are important to you, and follow what you think is right, because that is what will matter in the end. And the only people that'll effectively Am I farting between sentences? Does it sound like I'm farting between sentences? No, I don't think so. I'll have to play it back and see what it sounds like. The only people that matter in your life is your family and your dear friends, your customers. Many of them are grateful for your service, but you're not the most important thing in their lives. I can promise you that. How long can you? Would you want to smell through? Would you want to smell through phones? Some of the places that we go and some of the places that you go. If you've seen some of Pete's videos, he still has an acute sense of smell that he's battling with. There's no doubt about that. That he is not used to some of the fantastic stenches that we come across as we work on sewers and grease traps and nasty situations that we come across. Anyway, like I said, I promised I would keep it short and sweet and just sort of into the chair. Is it making sounds now? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not touching nothing. Anyway, I was thinking late last night as I was falling off to sleep about my fine friend that's no longer with us, and the wonderful influence he had on thousands of people's lives. He was a good man. He's left a fantastic legacy. There's no doubt that his wife and his children are sad at his passing, but have just, and the reason they're sad is because they have so many wonderful experiences and memories about his life, and I hope that that's sort of where we can end up with our own lives, is have those wonderful experiences, influence those that are most important to you, and tell the rest of them to get bent. Is that a good way to leave it? Anyway, it's already been half an hour, 25 minutes anyway, and I know there's a baseball game on. Everybody's getting ready for dinner somewhere, so I appreciate the support. If there's something that you think would be worth while as a discussion, then by all means send me a DM and we'll put that on the list of things to talk about. If it's of interest to come on here and have a discussion with me about what you think is important and what you hold as valuable, or where something related to the trade that you're in or your line of work, then DM me and we will make it happen. Again, I appreciate everybody's support, and it's been fun messing around with this thing and learning some of how this technology works. And I wish you guys all the best. Happy Sabbath day and peace. Be good out there. Be good to yourself.